of us as labor, whether we see eye to eye on our policies as unions, whether we do not see eye to eye, we come from one class, and that class is the working class. And if you're going to fight your fellow worker, we will die like flies in the mining industry. Ubaba Matunju, Ubaba Montisets, Franz Sterling, and the representatives of Solidarity. Tolerance costs us nothing. If we want to lead the masses, we must lead by example. Unite ourselves before we unite these workers. Because it is imperative that we do that. Because if we don't do that, we will continuously come here and reflect on these high numbers of people that die in the mining industry. In 2000, we took a resolution in a conference that said, for every mine worker that dies, 1 full day of mourning so that we can reflect and that the employer must feel the heat. But the reality, Mr. Motsepe, when 5 people die, it means it's 5 days to reflect. Because you do not compare a disaster to a normal loss of life. If we do not do this, and we don't pay respect to those whom we work with, and we don't mourn those with whom we've worked, it means that we regard the penguins better than the lives of black mine workers in South Africa. You know, Honorable Minister, I was reminded when there was an oil spill in the ocean. And although the NGOs had different agendas, they united under one banner, and that banner was Save Our Penguins. But here's the challenge. Here's the strange thing, Mr. Motsepe. When the penguins were saved, they were put in an aftercare facility. The oil was removed. They were given an opportunity to rehabilitate. And after that rehabilitation process, they were set free into the wild. When mine workers die, what aftercare do we give to these families and their dependents? Surely, penguins' lives cannot matter more than the lives of black mine workers. Now, here is the challenge that I throw to you. Make sure you give them trauma counseling. They are hasty to bury their loved ones. Bring them back at your own cost. Because I've seen some of them collapse today. I've seen some of them that are too weak to move. Bring them here. Give them proper counseling. After that counseling, speak to them and ask them, what do you want us to do? Don't take yourself, put the responsibility on your own shoulders to want to think of what they need. Let them tell you what they need. Because it's no longer about you and I. It's about them. Honorable Minister, we want to ask you to please assist. The exodus of the inspectorate is negatively affecting the mining industry. When all the experts leave, our people sit the way they are sitting today, mourning the loss of their loved ones. Get yourself a team that will ensure that they do hold the employers accountable at all times. Because we can't have a situation where we have the inspectorate not being able to execute their responsibility. Mr. Motsepe, to you and your executive, please lead in the debate This thing of litigating against the department and against the inspectorate is unacceptable because our people are dying. As we now move away from this event, please know that your loss is our loss. Your pain is our pain. Workers, please unite. You have nothing to lose but to save your lives, your limbs, and your lungs. Amandla.
I would now like to call upon Usibongile Chisa, the Regional Chairperson of AMCO.
Away to Comrade Program Director Bullism, the Bullis families, the Bullis Minister, Bullis Chairman of Samoan, the Bullis Nesni Union as called. Comrade, before the Clan Domas is Opagam Savani. Ndicela into okubana nizilungiselele because ngicela udlwabe ifleko andikaniva nicula ndiniva niminglisha andikaniva nicula comrades phakama apha siyi-Gauteng region sinethamsanqa lowanjelwa inkokheli enkulu inkokheli eyaziwayo jikelele eSouth Africa inkokheli esesibone imisebenzi yayo emihle eNorthwest, inkokheli eyagweba indlala, andiniva kanti agweba indlala. Comrade sine region yaseRustenburg ekhona phakathi kwethu Comrade Jack esamcela into yokuba aphakamise kodwa phambi kokuba aphakamise uComrade President sizacela ingoma hayi into engathi ingoma. Sifuna wonke umuntu eve into yokuba sisekusasalethu, sifuna wonke umuntu eze into yokuba iAMCO President ikhona la etendeni. Over to you Comrade Jack.
Amandla. Away two. Chairman, Comrade Jack, la region yaseRustenburg enkulu. Comrade Phandlela kalokubosha nosikhathi. Comrade Phandlela kalokubosha nosikhathi mina azibosha nosikhathi. Mina bonga lapha kalok Comrade Chairperson kalokunikeza mina losithuba ukuthi mina bulisa, mina azikhuluma maningi magama. Job kamile napikile kuphela yena lokubulisa nalokuphakamisa lo mongameli kathina hayi wayigweba indlala amadoda eRustenburg sihlala kwizindlu zodidi siyekile ukukhwela amabhayisekile sihamba ngevumi zafondini kulamalanga siyabulela gweba indlala amandla
Seludlwabe ngoma Comrade Sawucela uPresident wethu xa la ngoma seyitshilo maseyiqamba shushu aphakame eze ngaphambili. Thank you, thank you.
Kuthiwe uma
Ngicela le mic.
ndase ndiyabuza ukuba ndiza kuthetha ndithini. Ndeva ndifikela usizi lokuba kulula ukuthetha kweminye imicimbi, kodwa ukuthetha emcimbini efana nalona kuba nzima ngoba ufuna amagama angayi kusuka kwabo bantu ofanele kudlulise khona lawo mazwi. Phofu ke awethu amazwi singawathetha aphinda adlule njengamanzi. Sike sicela kuThixo ukuba asenzele umusa nethamsanqa ukuthi okwesithethayo makuphilise imindeni nezihlobo ngamaxesha onke. Ngenxa yexesha bendizozama ukuthetha ngesizulu, kodwa nisenzele nabo zindaba ndizawuthetha ngalolwimi ndimixe ukuze ukuthi ixesha lingamosheki kusese nohulumente ubaba uminister nobaba umtsipe uchairman ngenxa yexesha. Ndizoqala ngokusho ukuthi the program director and all distinguished guests, our heartfelt condolences go to the families of the deceased workers. May God give you strength in the difficult times. To our fallen comrades, may your soul rest in eternal peace. Our comfort is in the scriptures, Romans chapter 14 verse 8. If we live to the Lord, and if we die to the Lord. So then whether we live or whether we die, we are the Lord's. May the mercy of the Lord be with you to eternity. That has never been a friendly visitor to mankind, as it strikes at a time when we least expect and snatches our loved ones from us at a time when we are not prepared. The mining industry has been a death trap for mining workers for a long time. According to the study published by Professor H.J. Simons in the 1960s, 36,000 men were killed in the gold mine since the beginning of the 20th century. The annual death rate was 800 during this period of time, a reality that characterized the industry way into the 1980s. In 1956, the death toll was 816, and in 1983 this number was still as high as 831. In the post-democratic era, this figure has significantly come down to an unacceptable number of 73 in 2016. According to the Department of Mineral and Resources, 54,000 workers have died since mine accidents were recorded in 1904. This DMR figure is not corroborated by other independent research done by academics. Pre- and post-democratic, which creates doubt on the credibility of the DMR strategies to cap this unwanted phenomenon. The zero death target remains elusive, with a plausible strategy to attain it compounded by a lack of leadership and political will. As such, we are gathered here to mourn the death of yet another 5 workers that have been lost to seismic action or event leading to a ground fall. As we mourn the Harmony Gold Kusasalethu colleagues, we are reminded of a similar painful accident that has characterized the mining industry. We remember the Colebrook Colliery mine disaster in Sasolburg, where 437 miners were perished. The 1986 King Rose mine disaster, where 177 miners died. In 1995, Fall Ridge disaster, where 104 perished. And the most recent 2016 Lily mine disaster, where 3 workers are still buried in the belly of the earth. The mining industry is failing to guarantee a life for our men and women after every shift. Mine underground work remains as a serious risk and is a double-edged sword that when you are not affected by sudden fatal accident, the probability of dying from occupational disease is 1 in 30 workers. Today we speak of men and women in figures and easily negate their names and surnames because have been added in the statistics. This is need to stop. This and provide decisive leadership when mines invest in safe working conditions to ensure that all workers that go underground come back alive. As AMCO, we will expand our trade union duties in holding employers to account and streamlining health and safety programs to the center of business algorithms where we are organized. Employers that are negligent in their conduct need to be criminally prosecuted within the prism of criminal justice system. AMCO will propose amendments to the legislative framework to strengthen employer obligation in the mine health and safety. As we know, comrade, we've been complaining about COIDA, Section 35, whereby the families cannot sue even the employer when the employer was in the wrong. We attempted to apply for Section 77, certificate to protest action through NEDLEC for health and safety in the mining sector. However, the Section 77 committee, which is a tripartite forum with a one-aside task team from labor, business, and the government, refused to grant AMCO this certificate. As AMCO, we intended to raise awareness on this important issue through legitimate protest action. However, due to the 5-month strike, the gatekeepers denied us the opportunity. We say to NEDLEC today, this institution was meant to be the epitome of social dialogue. However, due to political engineering and clouding of interest, NEDLEC now are a marshal of oppression. As AMCO, we are cognizant that most of the gold mines are deep and dangerous mines. However, since 1994, there has been a trend of reducing mine accidents, even though the depth of the mining was deepening. In 2004, there were 250 mine fatalities, which came down to 77 in 2015. This trend analyzes the prism of numerous variables and does not provide any epistemic basis for linear generalization. If there is an employer that can come and claim that there is an attributable relation between a deep level mining and the higher accident facilities, we will disagree with that employer. If there is an employer that can claim that they are shutting down a shaft because it has become too dangerous to mine, we will disagree with that employer. There is an ample evidence in the literature and scholarly who work that demonstrate that the majority of the reason of these fatalities are associated with employee skills, poor health and safety system, a lack of management control and leadership, poor investment in health and safety. There is a need for investment in research and development to create a safe mining environment in deep level mining. As AMCO, we therefore take note of some of the sentiments raised by the Honorable Director of Harmony to shut down operations if they are becoming more unsafe. We are saying to them, statistics over the years are reflecting a decline in fatalities as mines go deeper. This is a result of a number of factors which can be consolidated to ensure that we retain a good initiatives and improve the stick to greater responsibility from employers who are custodian of operations. The AMCO family is mourning the death of its members, comrades, colleagues, friends, and siblings. Our hearts are filled with grief. We dedicate the memory of our colleagues to refining our health and safety programs. We engage employers in the sector to ensure that there is a strong co-regulation. At the tripartite level, we will continue to engage social partners to strengthen regulation, to hold mine bosses accountable for operation in their mines. Instances of negligence need to be treated as homicide within the criminal justice system. We further remember our fellow comrades at Lily Mine who are still underground and call for the DMR and responsible employers to provide resources and equipment to extract those workers so that they can be reunited with their families. In other countries where there are similar disasters, coordinated missions are commissioned and lead to immediate recourse. What is happening to Lily Mine workers is painting a picture of an caring society. South African capitalism is becoming inhumane, caring only for living workers who can sell their labor. Once the labor becomes redundant, for whatever reason, they then analyze it in cost-benefit analysis. I'm sure, right, that there are clever economists that they can develop proper papers. As artisanal scholars, meaning us as Stuart, we view that extraction process as a return of investment by workers in the reverse returns, and employers and the state that has benefited in taxes are obligated to recognize that dignity of these employees are restored. The Lily Mine chapter must come to an end. And as AMCO, we demand expeditious intervention to finally resolve this matter. Umasendiya ekugqibeleni siyacela kubanikazi bezimine ngenhlonipho enkulu ukuba ukuhamba kwama-comrade ethu lawa amahlanu apha makube yisiqaliso sento entsha yokuba akunabhuti ozaza apha or ingane yaka-comrade otshonile ozongena emgodini, kodwa sithi izisalari zakhe mazikhokhele leyo mndeni till pensionable age. Ezi agreement ezisayinwayo ezithiwa uma umathunjwa atshonile unyana wakhe uzawuphinda futhi ayo-traumatizeka ayongena phaya kuleya ngxolo eqeda ama-comrade, sithi siwu-AMCO namhlanje babumtsiphe sithi mayiphele. Asifuni ukubona izihlobo zaba-comrade bazosebenza apha, kodwa umrholo wabo mawungene every month phaya kwingxolo yabo. Uma sendiye ekugqibeleni, uma i-AMCO urhulumente sekwenzile into eyenzeka phaya ngo-2012 iyakha imizi, azange sibulala abasebenzi phaya eMarikana, kodwa siyabakhela imizi. Sithi-ke nakuhamoni esinye sezithombe apha mawusuka kwa-right or kwa-left mawuhleli phansi uyayibona leya ndlu ayinasilingi and uyayibona ukuthi ubezama ucomrade ngalokuncinana bemala nayo. Sithi-ke ihamoni-ke siwu-AMCO kusukela namhlanje ayihlale nathi ukuthi iwakha kanjani amakhaya a-decent for this 5 families. We have to think progressive. Sithi-ke lokho enikwenza ukuthi abantwana baye esikolweni qhubekani nakho, kodwa okubalekile ndifuna ukuzwa njengoba ndihlaba ama-foundation phaya eLesotho, ndiwahlaba phaya eVanderbilt Park, ndiwafaka eSwazini aba ababulawa phaya eMarikana, ndifuna ukuthi masiqala nje siphuma apha no-chairperson sihlale phansi ngesikhathi esifanele siqale ukuthi siwahlaba kuphi ama-foundation alama-comrade ezindlu ezidecent zabo. Ndithi-ke ngalokho-ke ngoba-ke lina lumndeni amanzi achithekile singeke sakwazi ukwabuyisa. kodwa uThixo ongakwazi ukufinyelela kunina. Kodwa ezizinto esizicelayo kuma leaders alezimali yilezi zinto bezinqwenelwe ngabafowethu ababasele phaya. Siyathemba ukuthi mase kwakhiwa ezizindlu nizabe senibona ukuthi apho indodana yami apha utata bekafuna ukundibeka khona. Ngithi ngalawo mazwi lawo siyacela DMR ukuthi masibambisane minister. Ngiyakwazi uminister one-energy ufuna izinto zenzeke manje. Asenzeke ukuthi siyohlala phansi sibone minister ukuthi senza kanjani. Lenye message engokunikeza yona sengizoyidlulisela kuwe ukuthi uyipapashe ngoba sowukhona as a minister. Lena yenye fatal yenzekile angeke ngisakwazi mina ukuyikhuluma ngoba ukhona. As working class, let's unite. Akukho ukudlula ukuhlangana. Ukuhlangana kunqoba zonke izinto. Kubalulekile lokho. We need to shoulder one another and put the differences aside. See phambili. Ngoba that is what we have to show as leaders. Singabi nama empty promises. Kodwa let's put talks into action. Makungabi khona izindawo kuthiwa there is no go area. Must respect ama Labor Relations Act. Uma union it's a majority endaweni my respect. Uma sendihlala phansi mina ndiyalalela uthi honorable president ngeselekho saka 2012 by parliament uthi kukhona full dozen ne half dozen sayikhumbula leyo nto ye full dozen ne half dozen wathi amkopaya elon min half dozen phofu ayikwazi ukuthola izinto ze full dozen eziyi-annual. So manje kufanele ukuthi ezi zinto ngaso sonke isikhathi sizizame apho thina si-leader khona minister siyazama ukwehlisa ama-threshold esawathola abo-50+1. Impala siyehlile safike impala i-threshold 50+1 sayehlisa sathi 30. Safike lon min i-threshold i-50+1 sayehlisa sayisa ku-30. Senzela ukuthi i-freedom of association mayibe khona. Siyacinga ukuthi inselelo-ke nakwamanye ama-union apho abeka izinto phezulu ukuthi awazithola. Enkosi ndiyabulela.
I was allowing time for the Honorable President of AMCU to take his seat. Thank you very much, Mbokeli. We really appreciate it. I really liked the silence that we had when the President talking, and I hope we are going to keep to that silence as we go forward. I'm going to call the next speaker to come forward. Before I do that, allow me to acknowledge the presence of the chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee for Mineral Resources, Honorable Z. Luzipo, is in the house. I'm going to call upon the leader of this company and this organization, Ndate Patrice Motsipe, who is the chairman of the board of Harmony Gold. Ndate Motsipe, the stage is yours.
Sishiwe isikhathi bengizocela ukuthi ningivumele ngisheshe ngikhulume bakhona bakhulume phambi kwami i-leadership yabasebenzi ngizwe kakuhle ukuthi upresident utheni bonke isithethi bakhuluma phambi kwethu i-leadership yabasebenzi sizwe kakuhle uComrade President wakhuluma ukuthi bakhona abantu bemedia so bengizocela ukuthi ningivumele lapha nalapha sithethe ngesilungu na ba hlalosa hore go na le baemedi ba ditaba. So ne ke kopa ka boikokobetso hore le ntumelle gore mo le mo re bue ka sekgowa. The first thing I want to say is that the mining industry cannot continue, should not continue, will not continue as it has over the last 100 years. In the main, the duty is ours as employers. When we had a press conference on Thursday, what I made very clear is that when every single worker walks through the gates every day and reports for work, they are our responsibility. If there's an accident, people get injured, people lose their lives, the investigation and the inquiry must continue, but the starting point is, as management, as the company, we take full responsibility. Whatever the outcome. You see, this industry, this country, the whole of the economy was built by the sacrifices of hundreds of thousands of mine workers from all of the rural areas in South Africa. Ungacabanga phaya ekoloni e-Eastern Cape or waka batho ba esho ba tswang ko Limpopo ka ko Northwest futhi le ba bang ba tswa Lesotho bo Mozambique fela bjalo. I want to say the following in English. It is not good enough for us to come when there's an accident. And I must tell you, it is very, very difficult to look at these families in the eyes. Very difficult. If it is difficult for me, can you imagine how much more difficult it is for every single family? And we come and we say, we are learning. And we come and we say, things will change. And year in and year out, the number of our people who lose their lives is still unacceptably high. When you keep talking and your action does not reflect what you say, people don't believe you. And they should not believe you. The President Amku is the only one who's clapping hands. I think we should clap hands for that statement. Because that statement is not just for Harmony. It's for every single mine in this country. I must tell you the problem I have, and the problem that I have no doubt many of our people have, is that we have to continue to account to our people in this mining industry, but also those who are not part of this mining industry, in terms of how are we operating these mines. We come from a culture when people are unhappy with you, when people complain about you, imali angiyeke ikujabulise ngoma ipower ukabona le mandla ubale le ditšhelete o bale le maemo bokamoso ba gago bo mo mahlong a batho ene ga golo batho ba rona ba ileng gore ba ipalla. We have to start on an ongoing basis, because I heard what the president of AMCU was saying, and I also heard what all the other leaders of the workers were saying. I did indeed say last week at the press conference, if any of our mines result in the deaths, in fact, are unsafe and are unhealthy, we will close them. We have to close them. No. You have to close them. The money and the profits we make is not more important than the lives of our people. And I understand it's a difficult one because our people need jobs. Imisebenzi ayikho. Even those who work in the mining industry. You know, somebody was doing a study and they found that if you look at the salaries that the mine workers have received over the last 20 years, very little has changed. Very, very little has changed. Now, I must bring up my children in a country where my children and the children of others have to live in communities where there's poverty and abject poverty, and many of our people have no jobs. We have no future. Any businessman who has the duty of his country and the duty of his people, as well as the duty of his shareholders. Because we have to look at bringing money from shareholders whose primary concern are profits. And we've got to say to them, we have a duty to many stakeholders. And some of those stakeholders are the people who go to the mine underground every day. So if, Comrade President, if there are mines we have to close, even though they may be making some money, but we are satisfied that the safety and health of our people has been compromised, we have to work with our unions and try and redeploy them to other mines. To other mines which are more safe. We will not continue, we will not be part of an industry. And what we will be judged about is not by what we say, but by what we do. I don't doubt, not for 1 minute, the absolute commitment to health and safety. The mines that are profitable are the mines where, if you look at the statistics of health and safety, the very best. The injuries are very low, if any. Lendaba ukuthi kukhona abantu bethu bashona emsebenzini. Ama numbers aphansi kakhulu. Kushona umuntu omunye nje emsebenzini. It's unacceptable. Now, you know, we grew up in a culture abotata bethu from different parts. Abomadiba, Nabotambo, and various other leaders, Bo Skukuni, Bo Lidziye, Bo Mushweshwe. There's a big duty on leaders like myself and others. We have to behave in a way, not in terms of what we say, but in terms of what we do, that reflects a commitment to our people. The judge of that commitment is not myself, it's you. What the workers think about our behavior and conduct determines whether we are doing right or wrong. And I'm not saying that I'm oblivious to the obligations we have to shareholders and to the communities that live near our mines and to various other participants, black participants, who have to get skills and expertise and become part of the leadership at all levels of the company. And also, we have a duty to all employees, black and white employees. And yes, we can't build a mining industry. And sometimes it's easier to walk away. But as one leader said to me, Comrade Patrice, leader yabasebenzi, you will be betraying us if you walk away and the obligation you have in terms of job creation does not continue and does not persist. We were made what we are by the people of this country. We have a duty to the people of this country. So I want to conclude by saying that and I must say one thing. When we had the press conference last week, and I saw the spirit of unity amongst the leadership of the workers. We come from a culture where the starting point is it's not negotiable. The workers the workers must indeed unite. Now you must be careful when you talk about working class. I'm being because many of your people who become middle class and graduate from middle class and above started as part of the working class. And President, there are certain obligations we have to show, and all of the other leaders who spoke. I can't see some of the others. But the point I'm making is that something good must come out of this. But one of the children of our deceased is going to go to university. In fact, we have a duty to educate as best we can. We must build this track record. Now, let me tell you, some of these children are going to become leaders, whether they go underground or not. They may never go underground. Bangafika phansi baqashe sibanike umsebenzi afike ibe imanager aphethe i-stores procurement futhi aqhubeke. We promote and promote and promote, because that is what must happen. The country at all levels of leadership must show the diversity, and in particular there must be a significant amount of black participation in management. So lo muntu baqale bayi working class. So manje kunemoto ucomrade waseRustenburg abakhuluma ukuthi sesihamba ngamamoto. Beautiful, because he progress leyo. Masuka kuhamba ngamamoto, so uya graduate kule working class ungena lapha ku middle class. Ufana umtshele ukuthi hemfundile ungakhohlwa ukuthi uphuma kuphi. Siya deploy apha. Mawuya ku middle class ufana wazi ukuthi ubuye lakithi. Usikare lebala kana wana bukamuso kanhlaro. Lo comrade lo mntwana lo sikhuluma ngaye namhlanje. So uthatha umsebenzi wami. He's the chairman of Harmony. Now this is why yabona ama-communists ngiwathanda kakhulu, because they always provide a backbone for us. Basitshela ukuthi ningakhohlwa abasebenzi, ningakhohlwa the poor, ningakhohlwa those people that you come from. But I'm saying, lo mntwana uzoba i-chairperson ya Harmony, and now he's graduated. The test of his character is his continuous commitment to where he comes from, and the upliftment and the improvement of the living conditions of the middle class, of the working class. So at the end of the day, we are all South Africans. And we will not be able to build this mining industry without money from various sources to provide jobs. If we have no jobs in this country, we have no future. Anyway, malapa a gesho a e leng gore ba latlhegetswe re lalele na kulukulu bonke ba latlhegele abofo benu sikhala nani kakhulu. And let's into besithetha president and the various leaders in terms of how we must show that commitment, because the problems begin now. Yabona manje sihlangene sonke maseqedile onke ama-family bayahamba bayekhaya. It's easy for us to focus on the duties we have and not focus on those families. So we need, Comrade President, ibe khona le working committee, a working committee between the leadership of the workers and ourselves. singabakhohlwa lama-family. Ngithanda kakhulu le ndaba ukuthi le ndaba yokwakha imizi. Now, it would be beautiful if a few years from now you can come back and report, because we must report. The problem we do is and then there are all sorts of things that are being raised kuphela lapho. And namhlanje kushone omunye wethu bakhona abanye balimele, kusasa kuzolimala abanye bakhona namhlanje. So whatever has happened to labalimele, we must make sure that we continue the obligation and the commitment, that we can report and say there were these families bashone, and in fact what has happened. The last thing I want to say is, Minister, the issue of Section 54s. You know, Guama operations where the figure in management iti bafage Section 54. Mascala tina city. You must accept that equally daba o lento yenza wena or tina as management wrong. Kusasalethu is not a profitable mine. Kusasalethu is not a profitable mine. There are many mines in South Africa which are not profitable. And that's why, you know, mine workers, what the president is saying is absolutely correct. We must try and engage and see how do we make sure that the working environment is as safe as humanly possible. Umhlangano bofana uqale ngo-10. Kune-accident ebuhlungu kakhulu endleleni. Ikhona imoto, uyazi imoto ngathi iphepha. You know, bekune i-truck. Yasqueeza koloyele. Hake kulamane. Karamon nagare. Ke kopa modimo fela hore batho ba ile gore na ba koloyele ba phela. So there are dangers all over. But we should never accept the fact that there's a danger in everything we do. That there should not be total 100% commitment to creating a working environment that is safe. Sengihamba ngihlala phansi ngifuna ukuqeda ngokuthi ngifuna ngikhulume ngesi-Afrikaans because bekugcwele ama-Afrikaner lapha kule proto. No, but bakhona bonke, but you know, en gaan het Afrikaans is baie belangrik. Ons moet almal saamwerk. Ek wil dit sê, dit is so belangrik. Al diegene wat deel was van hy proto-spanne. Ons wil net baie dankie sê. Ons kan spesialiseer. Now, I want to say that you see, sometimes we have to say the things that are more in the interest of the long term of our country. And part of that has to be that your experiences every day at work must be a positive experience. And we have to unite. And we are totally committed to work together leadership yethu and all stakeholders to make sure that we try and create as safe a working environment as possible. And we keep coming back to assess and reassess to try and see how we can improve the working conditions. And if certain mines are unsafe, we must find means and ways of redeploying workers to mines that are safe. We cannot, when there are no jobs, contribute to the continuation of lack of jobs. We have a duty to create jobs. Viva abasebenzi, viva! Viva abasebenzi, viva! Qina abasebenzi, qina! Enkosi.
To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heavens. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. And at this time, I'd like to call upon the Honorable Minister, Mr. Benzi J. Zwane.
Let me thank the program directors, the chairperson of Harmony Gold, Dr. Beatrice Mtsepe, all the union leaders. I will try to beat you as eloquent as you were, because you kept on saying Agilo Dulafats. Let me end lastly, and I counted in each of you, and I just want to do one lastly and sit down so you can start counting. The chairperson of my portfolio committee, Comrade Luzipo, union leadership, workers, journalists that are here, ladies and gentlemen, the two choirs who has been very brilliant in ensuring that we send proper condolences to the families. I know you did not have enough time. It's because of time. But I'll talk to the president hereafter to say, President, here are the two choirs. The other one is from your mind, Kusasalethu, and this one I don't know. Let's do something. These are our black brothers and sisters. Let's give them something, propel them, and move so that tomorrow they say, during the death of the 5 heroes, we also saw the light of the day. So we will take their contacts, we will talk to you and your management to support them. Thank you very much. Our family am Khanedi Sihlafuno Mukemani Mukhele Matuba. Lifu le hale le bohloko le sa tlwaelehe fela ke yona tsela e re kgutlisetsang hae ho mmupi amohelang ke hona banna bana ba bahlano ke bahale ho rona Malpine ke ratang mo e re ba inkele sefapano mahetleng a bona ba tle ba shwelle dikanong tse ba leng ho tsona bahale ba shwelletse dikanong. They died during the execution of their responsibilities. As we mourn, we should not forget to celebrate what they stood for. One of the representatives of the workers, Uri, ubafumane bantse ba kentse di gloves, di boots tsa bona and everything ile on. Ane ke na le nako le ditlo re umpinele pina e reng rauhang masole ntwa ya lwana le hlomele bohle di rakitseng. We will not be free in South Africa up until the masses of our country are free. Up until we eradicate the last check in this country, we shouldn't claim that we're free. Up until we have the mine workers owning the mines, we should not rest. Well, let me say my view, and I always differ with leaders, and let me do the same here. It is our government and the leaders building new houses. But we should not continue that forever. Because it says to ubaba wasekhaya, uma ekhuluma nengane zakhe, athi le ndlu ngiyakhelwe nguhulumeni noma inkampani. That's not the freedom we want. The freedom we want is to have the head of the house claiming that out of the empowerment and the transformation by my government, I am now able to build myself a house. So I want to make a call to these companies. As they build these houses, we must agree that transformation must take place today, so that black people in South Africa, workers in particular, on behalf of these heroes, are able to do for themselves. We must not perpetuate the culture of black people requesting everything from government companies every time they want something. That's the wrong culture. We must work with you to create a culture that is prevalent in Lesotho. Aufika Lesotho, chairperson wa Harmony Gold. Ba o bulela hore rona re ikahela matlo. Matlo a ile ke rona ke matlo a rona. Ha re feng batho ba tjhelete. As we mourn and celebrate the death of these leaders, we have faith in you, because you are the first mine boss to have been with us for the past 10 days. And you are here with us today, crying with us. We are able to talk to you, not your CEO. So you must own more mines. As you own more mines, you must consider doing what you are doing at Sundowns here in this industry. Pay our workers decent salaries. The killing of mine workers must stop. It is unacceptable. It is horrible. We cannot continue to see young ladies like these ones crying all the time and we say we're with you. We will take a campaign together with you, Chairperson, and the unions. We accept the challenge. We will launch a campaign which says Masipepe. We will look into the entirety of our laws and policies, and if they need to be changed, we will change them without any hesitation. Indeed, the death of these young lions must be a turning point. In fact, there was a challenge by one of the unions which I accepted, and I think I am accepting it even further. When people are dead in a particular mine, like when we were still mourning these 5 workers, we got a message whilst we hear that there is a fatality in Driefontein as we speak. There will be reasons, and I do not want to preempt the investigation report. But we want to see a situation where the mine says to the management, CEO, you have not done your job. Yeah. Why would people die? And we keep on blaming workers. We keep on blaming DMR. DMR does not own a mine.
And they're getting paid salary.
The people who are there on daily basis, who must say no or yes to these conditions, are the management of different mines. You know, as a driver, if there's an accident, they charge you. They call it culpable homicide. But they charge you because you're a driver there. But in this industry, the drivers of the industry, by a surge. And we must stand up and say, no, enough is enough. This far, no further. These people are not commodities. You can't just replace them. They are human beings that are not replaceable. And we must treat them as such. We do not like fighting with anybody. It's a terrible thing. We are peaceful people who always preach peace because we are also churchgoers. But if we have to roll up our sleeves and get ourselves into the fight to stop these killings, we are ready to do that as government. We will call upon our brothers and sisters to unite. It is the right thing. Together we will be able to get to a point where we say we have policies like the current mining charter, where when you retire, you are not sent home to Eastern Cape to go and die there. But you have your own money to can live. Like a teacher, a nurse, a doctor, everybody. Because this is your profession. It is you who have created these cities, these banks, these cars, these telephones that we are seeing here. Yet, you are not treated the way you must be treated. I call upon all the unions here, stand with government as we fight this transformation agenda. It is not our agenda. It is actually the agenda that must be pushed by you. Because you are the unions. We take what you tell us. You have said, Mayor, there have been mines here and the community here still stays in abject poverty. What must I do? Must I also cry? I can't. I'm a minister. I'll go back and call the mines and say, it is true, I've seen it. Chairperson of Harmony Gold, it is true, I've seen it. In fact, I was saying in Carletonville on Saturday, you must be able to utilize each and every piece of land for yourself. You must not call for the malls to come to the township and you don't own them. That's not wise of you. You must build malls out of this money that the charter will give you, and those malls must belong to black people, because the lifespan of the mines at some point will come to an end. It's true. And at that point, we should have created alternatives like your IT and many others. That is why I say, in you, I have confidence. Because I've seen you contributing in churches and all these other societies, and I know that this mine also has a number of organizations in it. Our aim as government is very clear. We do not only to have black people owning shares in your mines. We want black people to own mines in future, because the constitution of this country says the mineral resources of South Africa belongs to all the people of South Africa, not the chosen few. So as we say 30%, 1% of your annual turnover must trickle to the 30%. We also say it is not right for these big companies to monopolize in procurement. We can see this when we get into the mines, we see their names. It's just that I've forgotten them. If they want to continue to stay here, they must bring these workers, ordinary people, to come and be part of those mines, not the minority. We are not minority as black people in South Africa. That is the truth. We're not. So why should we treat minority all times as if we have an excuse? We don't know what we are saying. We love our white counterparts. We want to work with them. They belong to this country. They were born here. But we are just saying, let's together own. God has not created black people to be minority in everything. We will continue working with investors to invest more. Those that are retrenching, we have said to them, when they come to us, we do not like the idea that you go to the media first and create hype and say, I'm retrenching 4,000, and then come back to us, then we go into processes of saving jobs. It's not a very responsible approach. Because once you say to the workers, I'm retrenching 4,000, they have many other arrangements, medical aids and so forth. You put them in a stress situation. And yet you expect them to continue producing at the level you want them to produce. If we are responsible, the people who must take care of them the most are those workers down there. If they are happy, if they are satisfied, our GDP in this country will grow. These brothers and sisters of the deceased must come here to Harmony. They must come and work. They must gain experience. They must be part of these workers who own mines. Not in 10 years, but straight after the court. Because we'll implement, when we come from the court, we'll implement what we are saying we'll implement. Workers must have this, procurement this, we will implement. As I conclude, the time for us to complain, for things to be done for us, is over. The time for us to begin to blame each other because we seek glory, individual glory, must actually end here with this sudden death of our brothers. I will talk to all of you because I'm a servant of the people. I must listen to you as you speak. And when we have agreed, I will implement what we have agreed upon, because that will be a pact of the people. We must all support it. But if you talk in different voices, you will slow the progress of emancipating the masses of the people of South Africa. South Africa has elected me and you, chairperson, president, deputy president, and everybody, to lead and transform this country. And it must not take forever. Our people are beginning to be tired of slogans. We must begin to implement. Lalani ngenxeba noma kunzima kwenyukela kulomzuzu esikuwo, kodwa egameni lalezi shoshovu ezikhona la, ukhona bokufuze bathatha umkhonto uwile baqhubeke nempi ngoba impi ayikapheli. Rauhang Masole ihlomele mbohle dirakitse sonqoba simo.
Good afternoon. This is Now News Live, and you've just been watching live visuals from the Harmony Gold's Kusasalethu mine out in Carletonville. And that was, of course, Mineral Resources Minister Mosebenzi Zwane addressing the mourners there. That is, of course, the official memorial service for the 5 miners who perished. Patrice Motsepe was also among the dignitaries that have attended this memorial service. We'll definitely try and get our reporter on the scene to give us the latest from Carletonville. Let's take a quick